Hi guys, welcome to my video. So today we are going to discuss about chat page of my mobile application. And you can see I have already opened my chat page, and this is my chat code. In the app DSS, there I have import my chat page, and from a stack screen element, I have get my chat screen. Okay, now let's go to the chat code. From the top, you can see as the previous pages, there has the import, and also I have export my function of chat. Okay, and there has two constant, one for the chat text and one for the chat history. And now there has a zip function, and in a zip function, I have given the send request function. You can say there has two variables, user JSON text and user JSON object. And now I have a const here, and also append ID1 and ID2. And now ID1 and ID2 means, if I show you my PHP code, you can see there has ID1 and ID2. So I have used ID1 to receive the chats from a user, and ID2 to the receiver. And now you can see in my query, there have the column user from ID. I have assigned user 1 variable to user from ID column, and user 2 variable to user 2 ID. And this is the Ajax part. So in the Ajax part, I have given the response text variable and assigned it to request response text. And also there has a response array from another variable, and also I have assigned it to response text. It's a JSON path. And now they have the setter for set chat history, and from request open, I have given the URL, and from requested, I have formed that. And now there has another function of start right here, and from use effect, I have called it start function. And in this start function, you can see there has a set interval, and I have called this set request function right here. The 1000 mean, it's that's mean 1 second. When I open some user, when I open the chat by clicking on some users, it's take only like 1 second to load the chat. I'll show you from another user, because that user didn't receive any chat. Okay, I'll show you this one. Now it's take only 1 second to load the chat, like 1 second. Okay, and after the start function, there has a constant. It's called text input handler. I'll show you where's the text input handler. Right there, I have called it on chat text at this text input. So from this constant, when I type something like hey, and after when I send this chat, it should be clear the text input. So from this constant, I have given that clear the text input after send the chat. Okay, now I'll show you by sending this chat. Now that the chat has gone and the text input also cleared. So that's what I have given from this constant. And yeah, there has the use effect, and I told you about that earlier. So next you can see my UI part. First I have given the save area view. It's common to every pages, because I should having a save area view every page. You see, we normally use touchable opacity for buttons, and I have already told you about the touchable opacity as well as the pressable from my previous videos. So this touchable opacity I have used to this one, you can see the profile picture of. So once I click on the profile picture of my friend, it's come to this page. It's the user profile page. So inside of this touchable opacity, you can see another image tag. So from this image tag, I have taken the profile picture of each user. When I show you some another users, you can see another profile picture and every details related to the user. You can see the name, about, mobile, country. So user profile page is another page, and I hope to explain about that page from another video. So now there has another view tag, and inside of that there has another tag of text. From this text, I have taken the name of each friend. If I show you the names, you can see the names by using panels. I can take the names of each friend. Now there has another tag, flat list. So from this flat list tag, I have used to take the chat history of each friend, of each chat. Okay. If I show you some from another user, you can see the chat history. Every chat between two users. Once we click on users, you can see. So the purpose of this flat list is to take the chat history of the users, and now there has text input. There has another touchable opacity. So from that touchable opacity, I have given tag of icon. So you can see this button. You can see the send icon right here, green color. And when I press on this button, you can see the change. It's like pressing, and now there has a closing tag. So after every single tag, we should use a closing tag. If it's not like error, pose some tags like this. Those tags already have closing tag, so we don't have to use another closing tag. But for these tags, we can use closing tag. Main tag. So they have a closing tag of view, closing tag of image background, and the closing tag of self area view. And you can see I have written the UI. There has asset function for use profile. Let's see what's inside of this user profile. So firstly, you can see a constant user info ID. And now from a variable from data, and also in the from data I have applied the user info ID. So now we can see the Ajax part, and they have two variables for response text and profile info object. Let's see what are those variables. And in the variable of response text, I have assigned the response text, and from the other variable of user profile info object, I have assigned the response text JSON pass, and now there has a constant of user profile info. So inside of this user profile info, we can see name, the picture, about, mobile, and country. When I click on the profile picture of the friend, you can see the name, about, mobile, and country like this. Also now I have linked this function to the user profile info page. And you can see the URL of the PHP code, and I'll show you the PHP code of the user profile PHP. This one is the user profile PHP, and I hope to explain about this one from the other video. Okay, and there has a set function of save chat. First, there has two variables. First one is user JSON text, and the second one is from user object. And there has another variable called request object with three properties from user ID to user ID and message. And you can see the value from user ID is set to the ID property of the from user object, which was passed from the JSON string in the previous line of code. And Next, the value of toUser ID is set to the value of ID property to the root params object. It's assumed that root params contains a valid object with the ID property representing the ID of the user that the message is being sent to. And now the value of message is set to the value of chat text variable, which is assuming to contain the message text entered by the user. Next, this code creates a new form data object called form data and appends a new key value pair it using the append method. The key of pair is the request JSON and its value is JSON string representing the request object which contains the necessary data for sending a chat message from one user to another. And there has JSON string 5 method. So this method is used to convert the request object into a JSON string, which is there now stored as the value of the request JSON key in the form data object. Now is the Ajax part, and you can see there has a setup of set chat text, and also I have given the URL of my PHP code. You can see my PHP code. It's savechat PHP. And I'll explain about this code too. From the top you can see there has a variable with $sign request JSON and also I have assigned it to the post method, and from another variable I have given the request object, and also I have assigned it to JSON decode, and there has from ID to ID message and date time which I need to my chat page, and also there has my connection of my database, and you can see the code which I use to take user from ID, user to ID, message and message date time and status ID. Now we can see another UI part. It's called function chat item. I have used this UI part to messages parts from the first view. There has a style part, and in this style part you can see chat view right and chat view left, which means if I open some chat, you can see there has two sides, left and right, and left side for the sender and right side for the receiver. The messages for receiver is come to the left side, and the messages for the sender is going from the right side. And now there has a text tag, it's for the message, and there's another view. Inside of this view I have taken the time. You can see the time at the corner. From this icon tag, you can see at the corner there has a red color tick mark, and from this tick mark it says the message is sent to the friend or to the user. I have written this UI. You can see the CSS part, it's way too long, and I don't think that I should explain this part because only we use this CSS part to give some styles to each tags or to each element. And okay, so that's the end of the code. And now let's do some practical. I'll show you how we use our chat page. Okay, I'll select some user. Okay, this one, and I'll type some message. When I press this send button, it sends the message to this friend, and also you can see it has clear the text input and nothing inside of this. I'll show you this user. There has two messages. The first one was from me, and the next one was from that friend. And I'll send some message again, and you can see at the end there has the red color tick and the time also in which the message has sent. And when I click on the friend, I can see the information of my friends also. You can see the information about the friends. So that's the end of the explanation of my chat page, and goodbye until next time.